What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're brand new here and this is the very first time you ever see my face, hello and welcome. My name's Jennifer. I share all things health and wellness here on the channel. Anything I do to level up my own life, I share with you guys in hopes to inspire and motivate you to do the same. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, make sure to smash that subscribe button before we jump into today's. All right, guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinners. As you can see, I am sitting in front of this gorgeous water here. I am actually down in the Keys right now with all of my family. We are celebrating my daughter's sweet 16 and also just visiting family that I have that lives down here. So we are hanging out at the resort right now, but I wanted to film this intro because I have a week of What's for Dinners for you guys. Some super yummy ones. The sweet potato kale fritters that I made on my carb up day last week is in this video, and I'll have the original recipe linked down below, but a ton of people were waiting on that recipe, so that is included in this week of What's for Dinners. So let's go ahead and jump into the meals. And here is what we have going on for dinner tonight. I have a London broil here that I've already seasoned on one side with this Badia Complete seasoning, of course, real salt, roasted garlic and herb, and black pepper. And I am going to sear it in my Dutch oven here. My very old Dutch oven that is in desperate need of replacing, but it still cooks amazing. So I have a couple tablespoons of avocado oil down in the bottom, and I'm letting that get nice and hot. I'm going to sear both sides of this London broil, and then I'm going to add the onions to it, some broth, and I'm going to pop it in the oven and let it cook low and slow for a couple hours. I like doing the London broil in the Dutch oven versus the crock pot. For whatever reason, it just always turns out way better. And I normally add beef broth or beef stock to it, but I only had chicken broth. I already had this open in the fridge. I need to use it up and it will still be just as good. So I'm going to get this seared up and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, this side is nice and brown. I'm just going to flip it over and get a super nice brown crisp on the other side, and then I'll throw in the onions and the broth. So I've got the meat all browned up. I've added the onions in there. I've added a little more seasoning because I had a brain melt and forgot to season the other side before I flipped it. I got a phone call. But anyways, so now I'm just going to add the broth in there. And I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to pop it in the oven at 350 for about an hour, hour and a half, and then I'll check it and go from there. Okay, so dinner is ready. I have it all plated up here. I decided to pair it with some seasoned mixed greens here and a sweet potato, and then the meat I did with the onions, and then I cooked some mushrooms up on the side because everybody else is not that hip on mushrooms. So I just sauteed some up on the side in avocado oil and just put a little bit on my meat. This London broil is super tender and falling apart. I love doing it in the Dutch oven versus the crock pot. It just, for whatever reason, comes out way better. But I am not doing dairy, of course, so no butter on my sweet potato. I just did a little bit of cinnamon, but this will be dinner tonight. Alright guys, so here's what's going on for dinner tonight. I am making a meatball bake. So in my bowl here, I have some hamburger. I think it's like 1.5 pounds or almost 2 pounds, I forget, and I threw the package away. But I have parsley there. I have some crushed up pork rinds. I use these pork rinds. It's just pork rinds and salt. And then I use my immersion blender and grind them up, and it makes them really fine like that. 1 egg, some complete seasoning there, which you guys know is my favorite. And then also I have this roasted garlic and herb. I just use the rest of it there. So I'm going to mix all this up. I'm going to form meatballs, and then I'm going to put them in my baking dish and pop them in the oven. And I'm going to cover them in one of these sauces. I'm not sure which one yet. I'm waiting for my family to vote which one they want me to use. They're both Primal Kitchen. This one I know, the roasted garlic marinara is really good. We've had this already a couple times. This is a no dairy vodka sauce, and we have not had this yet. So I'm not sure how that is, so I'm like a little nervous to try it out, but I have not been disappointed with any Primal Kitchen dressings or sauces at all to date. So I'm sure that it is good, but I'm going to let my family pick which one it is, and then I'm going to put cheese on their half and not my half, bake them in the oven, and then cook up some pasta, and I'll show you when I pull them out. And I almost forgot dried onion flakes. You guys know I love adding those to everything. So I almost forgot that, but I'll show you as soon as I form these up. All right, so my daughter decided on the regular roasted garlic marinara habanero sauce. So I'm getting ready to dump this on this. I actually made these a little while ago, stuck them in the fridge, and they've just been in there kind of chilling for like an hour or so. Now I have the oven at 350, and I'm going to pour the sauce on them and pop them in the oven for an hour. All right, so here's what I ended up doing. I ended up covering half with some mozzarella cheese and parsley, and on this side did no cheese and just parsley. So now I am going to throw this in the oven at 350 for an hour, and I'll show you when I pull it out. All right, guys, we just got back from a 45-minute afternoon run, and we are starving. So I've plated up dinner here. I have 4 of the meatballs and then a little over a serving of the Natural Heavens angel hair pasta that I just sauteed in a little bit of avocado oil and complete seasoning, and then topped it with some parsley. So this is what I'm going in with for dinner. All right, guys, so here's what we have going on for dinner tonight. I have a bag of small cooked shrimp here. They're frozen. We just got home with them. And I have some lump crab meat here and some no dairy alfredo sauce, the Primal Kitchen brand. I'm getting ready to cook this up in some of this coconut oil with non-dairy butter flavor. These are already cooked, so it'll just take a minute to heat them up. This is already done. This will literally take like 5 minutes to like cook, heat everything through. And then I have some pasta that I made last night left over, so we're going to use that with a quick side salad, and I'll show you when I plate everything up. So here is dinner all plated up. I just threw together a quick side salad here with some shredded lettuce, tomatoes, and a half an avocado, and then the Natural Heavens angel hair pasta with the shrimp and crab alfredo. And the seasonings that I added to the alfredo are just the complete seasoning, parsley, and some of the Fresh Jack's Fresh Bay seasoning. And that is what I will be having for dinner tonight. All right, guys, so I am starting to whip up dinner tonight, and I am making kale, sweet potato, kale, quinoa fritters. I got this recipe off of Pinterest. I will have it linked down below. I have made a couple substitutions, but the original one will be linked down below. I have sweet potatoes here that I just steamed. I cut them up and then steamed them, and I'm getting ready to puree them with my immersion blender here. 2 cups of kale. Here I use my immersion blender also. This is the attachment that came with it, and just ground up some pork rinds because that's what I'm using instead of breadcrumbs. Salt, parsley, ground ginger, and pepper are the seasonings that I'm using. And it calls for cornstarch, but I'm going to add a little bit of xanthan gum. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Xanthan gum is always a little finicky for me. Also not pictured here is 2 eggs that I will be adding in, as well as some quinoa that is cooking up here. It's not ready yet, but I'm gonna puree and prep all of this stuff, and then I will show you the next step. All right, guys, so here's what I'm working with so far. I have everything in the bowl. My sweet potatoes were a little bit smaller, and in the recipe, hers said that it should be about 3 cups once pureed. Mine was like a little over 2 cups. So I did a little bit less quinoa, a little bit less kale. Got my pork rinds in there. My eggs I already beat up because that's what I added the xanthan gum to, because I've only ever added that to liquid. And I did about a half of a teaspoon just because that stuff, like, it will mess stuff up if you use too much. A very little bit goes a long way. And then I also added complete seasoning with the rest of these seasonings. Now I'm going to mix this all up. And over here I have some of this coconut oil with non-dairy butter flavor heating up, and that is what I'm going to fry them in. I almost forgot that it called for some paprika, so I just added that in there. And with these fritters, I'm going to be making tilapia. I have a bunch of fillets lined out on this pan that I've lined with foil just for easy cleanup, and I covered them in avocado oil and that complete seasoning. I made a bunch of extras, that way I'll have some for lunch throughout the week. You guys know that I always try to do that whenever I'm making dinners or anything, just to do extras, that way I can have meals throughout the week. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 400 for about 20-25 minutes, and then I'll show you as soon as I pull it. Guys, I literally have never smelled anything so phenomenal in all my life. These smell so good. I wish you guys could smell these. So I have used my ice cream scooper here. I just have, or cookie scooper, whatever you want to call it. It's a smaller one, but that's all I have, so that's what I'm using. That's the mixture all mixed together, and I just have that coconut oil heated up here. I just scooped it in there and then kind of flattened it out a little bit. And it says to cook them about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm going to let them cook on this side, flip them over till they get a little crispy, and then I'll show you when they're all done. So these are all done. They're coming out darker for some reason on camera than in real life. They're like perfectly golden, crispy. Like, I've already tasted them. These things are thebomb.com. Highly, highly, highly recommend you guys making these. I literally want to eat all of them. They are so good. definitely a hit. But just per usual of life, you can't always have all wins, right? These turned out phenomenal. However, I burnt all the fish. I thought that I turned the oven off and I was just going to leave them in there for a minute while I was finishing up in my son's room, getting some stuff together for in the morning, and got completely sidetracked and burnt the fish down to nothing. It actually does, it's not even like showing up. It's like literally like thin nothing. Like, but thank God I had some more, so they are in the oven right now. And I'll salvage what I can out of this for like lunches through the week, because like the thin side, they're literally like nothing. But there is a little bit that I can save. But hey, you can't win them all, right? But I'll show you when I plate everything up. All right, guys, so here is dinner all plated up. I have 3 of the sweet potato fritters and 2 pieces of the tilapia. I weighed each of these out on my food scale, and I'm going to insert it all into Carb Manager, so I will show you guys that also after I'm done eating. And then here I have a little bit of the cilantro lime dressing, and the recipe called for a different dressing with these, but I didn't make that, so I'm just going to use some of that for them because I'm obsessed with that dressing right now. And this will be dinner tonight. All right, guys, so here's what I have going on for dinner tonight. I have 2 baking sheets here that I've lined with foil, and this one I did with parchment paper as well, just for super easy cleanup. On this pan with the veggies, I just cut up some zucchini, red peppers, and onions, and then threw some baby carrots on there as well. I tossed all of it in avocado oil and, of course, the complete seasoning. Chicken, same thing. I have boneless, skinless chicken breasts on this half, boneless, skinless chicken thighs on that half. I did avocado oil all over them with the complete seasoning, and then I added just a little bit of this chili lime seasoning from Trader Joe's. Love this stuff. I'm going to pop both of these in at the same time. Super easy. You guys know I love a sheet pan dinner. I can just throw everything in the oven and forget about it. And I can make a ton so that it makes a bunch for leftovers. So anytime that I can do that, I always do. It just makes life easier. So I'm going to pop these in the oven at 425 degrees for 35 minutes. And I might even throw some grape tomatoes on with the veggies when there's about 20 minutes or so left. But I'll show you when I pull them out the oven. All right, guys. So here is dinner. I pulled it out of the oven and plated it up here. I have chicken breast, chicken thigh, and a bunch of the veggies, and I did add the grape tomatoes about 20 minutes before they were done, and it is looking and smelling delicious. So this is what we're having for dinner tonight. Alright, guys, so that will do it for this week of What's for Dinners. I hope you guys got some different ideas of stuff that you can create and make for your own families, and I will have some super yummy ones coming in next week's video as well, so definitely make sure you're subscribed if you aren't, and hit that little notification bell. That way you never miss out when I post a video. I have been posting the What's for Dinner videos every single Sunday, and then doing my weekly vlog on Tuesday that does all my meals and workouts and everything for the 75 Hard program that I'm doing, and then Thursday I post also. So I'm posting 3 times a week right now, so definitely make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of those videos. And if you guys recreate any of these, definitely let me know down in the comments below, or tag me over on Instagram. I'll pop my handle on the screen here. If you aren't following me over there, definitely hit me up over there for more meal ideas and workouts and more inspiration and all of that great stuff. And if you guys enjoy these What's for Dinner videos, definitely make sure to give me a thumbs up. And also, if you know anybody that would enjoy these meals, I would love it if you would share this video out with them. And of course, if you've been following me for a while, then you guys know that I am keto, so most of these meals and ideas are keto except for my carb up days, but my family isn't keto, and I always just adjust accordingly for them. In the last year and a half, that has worked out great. So definitely share this out with somebody that you think that it may be helpful for, and let me know down below if you guys are going to try out any of these meals. And again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I will catch you in the next video.